Hello, good morning, everybody. Today we're going to be presenting our Physiology of the Eye presentation done by Ricardo.
Abu Bakr Hamida.
And Abir Fatma.
Thank you for listening.
Photoreceptors are basically cells or specialized neurons that are basically found within the retina. They're the ones that usually convert light into electrical signals through, of course, molecules such as photopigments or photopigment molecules. Basically, what it does is that it makes or it stimulates physiological processes, which basically this process or these signals, they're sent through the optic nerve into the brain for, of course, processing. Now, there are around 150 million light-sensitive cells, especially that are related to photoreceptors. And then there's two types of receptors that I would like to talk about real quick. These two different types, one is cones, which are basically specialized in terms of color, and rods, which are basically specialized within brightness. So basically, cones, they are responsible for not only color but also for fine detailing, and at the same time, rods or brightness, they're usually the ones that differentiate between low brightness and high brightness color, especially if you mix both of them. Now, the rods are basically found within the outer region of the retina, while the cones are usually located primarily within the central area of the retina. Now, photoreceptors are basically they make information in which they show light intensity and show the difference in terms of light intensity, as well as help differentiate, of course, ambience, light ambience, and at the same time determining feedback. So that whole process is usually called light adaptation. Visual pathway is basically this pathway in which the electrical signals, which were light, are sent to the brain by the help of photoreceptors. Now, basically, visual pathway is basically part of the central nervous system, and basically, there's lots of nerves that are involved with the visual pathway, such as the optic nerve, the optic tract, and as well as the visual cortex, which is found in the brain. Now, to put it into simpler terms, basically once the light enters through the cornea and into the pupil and the iris and also through the vitreous humor, when it reaches the retina, that's where there's conversion that happens. However, once conversion happens within the retina area, the optic nerve, which is basically held by certain nerves, such as, if I'm not wrong, the axon, and I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this word right, but there's this cell or this nerve cell is basically called ganglion or ganglion. I'm not sure about that. These two nerve cells, they're the ones that help link the electrical signals from the retina into the optic tract. The optic nerve, and of course, the optic nerve is basically a pathway from the retina into the brain, or otherwise the visual cortex. Now, basically, along with that, there's this thing called visual field, which is basically where you can be able to see, the total area of an object that you can see through, I guess, peripheral vision. The whole purpose of this visual field, I guess, is it describes the retinal projection. And keep in mind that the retina is divided into two parts, the nasal and the temporal. Now, an example of visual field is basically, for example, if you're looking at someone, and then let's say, for example, you close your right eye, you're gonna see one part of that person. But let's say you close your other eye and open your the eye that you already closed, you'd see the other side of that person. So basically, it's more of FOV, or more of field of view.
Okay, now we'll be explaining the lens, refraction, and accommodation, which will explain the pathway of light through the eye and how light is refracted. The speed of light changes through substances of different densities, and the rays are bent or refracted as they pass through the cornea, the aqueous humor, the lens, and the vitreous humor. The refractive power of the lens can be changed by either making it more or less convex to focus light on the retina. The greater the convexity or bulge, the more the light is bent, and the flatter the lens, the less light is bent. Light over 20 feet away enters the eye as parallel rays. Lens does not change shape to focus it on the retina. However, when light from a closed object scatters in the eye, the lens bulges to focus light on the retina. This causes the ciliary body to contract, which allows the lens to be more convex. This is called accommodation. The image made on the retina after the lens bulges is inverted and reversed left to right and is smaller than the object.
The human eye has 6 eye muscles. They are split into 2 primary groups, the recti muscles and the oblique muscles. The 4 recti muscles are the lateral rectus, the medial rectus, and inferior rectus. The superior rectus, while the 2 oblique muscles are the inferior oblique and the superior oblique, which are control the movement from side to side, up to down. The convergence movement. It's a reflexive movement in the eye mobility when the view is close to the objects. When this occurs, both eyes are aimed near the objects that are viewed. The photopupillary reflex is when the eye receives a flash of bright light on the pupils and the pupils immediately constrict. The motion is important because it keeps from too much light from entering and damaging the delicate photoreceptors that reside inside of the eye. And the accommodation pupillary movement is when the close objects of the pupils also constrict reflexively in order congruence with the convergent. So these 2 movements work together to open and close the eye when you view an object that is close to your face.
Emmetropia is a condition where there is a clear, natural occurring vision, and there are no refractive errors such as myopia, hyperopia, or astigmatism. There is clear vision at all distances, and no lenses are required, and no squinting or straining is required either, and this is referred to as 20/20 vision. The image is perfectly focused on the retina, and there is a perfect balance between the length and the optical power of the eye, and this is referred to as the ideal vision. Myopia is a condition where nearby objects appear clear but faraway objects are blurry. It can be hereditary. However, myopia can be corrected with eyeglasses or contacts. Due to the abnormal eye shape, which is usually long, the light bends and refracts incorrectly within the eye, which focuses the image or point of focus in front of the retina instead of on the retina, which makes distant objects blurry. How this is diagnosed is where the doctor uses a basic eye exam, which uses a refraction assessment and an eye health exam. The treatment for myopia is the goal is to improve the vision by helping the light focus on the retina. And this is done by using corrective lenses by the use of eyeglasses or contacts, refractive surgery, topical medication, and lifestyle changes that will help treat myopia.
Hyperopia, commonly known as farsightedness, is when the retracting power of the eye causes light rays entering the eye to have focal points in the posterior to the retina, while accommodation is maintained by a state of relaxation. The visual acuity is better than far rather than close, so people can see rather well from far. Astigmatism is one of the common eye conditions that exists in the surface of the cornea of the celestine lens, irregularly shaped. It's from a relative error that can be presented alone in a combination with myopia and hyperopia. Its correction requires the use of a cylinder lens. It's like use of lens, basically.
Or the sources.
Thank you for watching and listening.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching.